I really liked here you said, and this is more the Roman Empire, that they were never performed at random, but only in specific circumstances. They were closely associated with animal sacrifices, with wine drinking, dining, with warfare. Their performance conformed to a specific ritual involving the use of specific vessels, which you just mentioned, the shallow discs, such as the fiale or patera, from which the wine was poured on the altar and so forth. They went together with other rituals or acts of devotion such as hand washing and prayer, which for me is fascinating. I mean, I guess the Roman style was more, it could have
No,
been,
this is no, no. Sorry to interrupt you. It's not just Roman. This is also Greek.
oh, even Greek.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. These are the yeah. This is really you find this ubiquitously
The
across the Greek and the
Mediterranean.
Roman world. Yeah,
Uh-huh. So
yeah.
they were a little bit more constricted in how they went about them rather than just doing wherever.
So yeah, so that's one of the key arguments
Mhm.
that I'm making in my article. Rabbinic literature has this assumption that non-Jews are capable of making libations at any time, in any circumstances, and sometimes almost invisibly, you can't see them doing it.
Hmm.
You know, why is it that non-Jewish wine is forbidden? Why is it that if you leave your wine, Jewish wine, unattended in the presence of a non-Jew, you can't drink it afterwards? The reason is because a non-Jew could have made a libation uh, without warning, without, completely randomly. And it's the randomness of the libation in the rabbinic mind which makes wine particularly problematic.
So I just have an idea, speculation. Is it possible that even though that these are what we have read about Greco-Roman libation practices, that might have been more, I don't know, I don't want to say statutory, but maybe more prescriptive. Maybe that's the way they're supposed to have been done in these very set rituals, set times, places. But maybe people are people. They went. They wanted to do their own thing. They felt so overjoyed by their Roman gods that they wanted to libate at a moment's notice, even wherever they happen to be. They spot some wine.
I don't,
I don't know that this is
yeah,
true or not. I'm just
yeah, it's a nice idea, but I mean, people, no, I mean, people have taken on board the rabbinic assumption, and I've said, yeah, of course.
mhm.
I mean, of course, non-Jewish wine had to be forbidden in antiquity because that's what non-Jews did. You know, they made libations every second. So people have sort of believed a little bit what, but I'll tell you, if my sources were purely legal, then I would be inclined to agree with you that there is a
Mhm.
distinction between the law and what people actually do.
Okay.
But what I'm talking about is a whole range of evidence, which you see either in iconographical representations, like the images we were looking at just now on these vases, or literary narratives, stories. You know, in the vastness of Greek and Roman literature, you have all sorts of stories where a certain character makes a libation. You know, when you put all these things together, you realize that libations are not random acts. They
Yeah.
are acts which are performed for a reason,
Yeah.
in the
Can I quote you?
circumstances.
Can I quote you?
Yeah, go on.
Or you say, although quick and easy and perhaps sometimes discreet, in real life, perhaps even more so than conveyed by literary, epigraphic, and iconographic sources, libations were not erratic, compulsive, or difficult to detect. They were performed in predictable circumstances in structured, explicit, and detectable ways, which is,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you make a libation
Mhm.
when you go to war,
Mhm.
when your ship leaves harbor, when you make a truce, a treaty
Mhm.
at the end of the war, you seal it with a libation. So much so that the Greek word for a treaty, spondai, means libations.